Last summer, with the help of Kevin Smith and Tony Angelo, we 2JZ-swapped my 1968 Dodge Charger and then shipped it to Snoqualmie, Washington for an episode of Roadkill where we blasted around Dirtfish Rally School. And no, it really didn't survive that too well. But now we're gonna fix everything, make it better, and go have some more fun on the street.
Don't do me like that again.
Bo, don't take off after that doggy, okay?
I have to chase you down to the back street in the rain.
Your mission is not the other dog, it's to fix the car. See the car?
That way.
Bo?
All right.
That car. The loud one. This is sad. It's very sad.
So you hadn't really seen this since, because it got delivered. I don't even think you were home.
It got dropped off.
I just, yeah, he parked it over here. I threw a cover on it because I just felt kind of bad for it, but I haven't actually looked at it.
Yeah,
wow.
It's got new graphics. Oh yeah, so that's new.
Yeah.
So, so here's what you missed.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, maybe you're like me and you don't have time to watch Roadkill. Or Finnegan's Garage, for that matter. So you and I did a bunch of work to this thing, put a rear end in it. Thank you, Quick Performance, and a drift handle. And then we sent it off to Chappelle's house. And when we got there, Angelo and I made closeout panels for the front fenders to stop the rocks from hitting us in the face.
Okay.
And that is a Steve Dulcich fender flare job right there.
It's not bad.
Legit. Problem is the car was so low, the tires rubbed all the way there. If you look, there's a buffed line all the way around the tire. So when we got to Dirtfish, Tony and I raised the car up. We took the lowering blocks out the back and raised the front torsions.
Oh, for real? Okay.
But as usual with this car, raising the front end up via the torsions only lasts for about 3 minutes before the front of the car falls back down. So I had the time of my life. I'm sure if Bo was there, Bo would have loved it. But I slid it sideways through a puddle, and because there was no inner fenders in the car, the 2J inhaled a bunch of water and shut off.
Ooh, okay.
So before we can go have fun with this, we need to check the oil. And also, I might have driven it through a ditch and tacoed the radiator. And by might have, I mean that definitely happened. So we got some things to fix, you know. But in general, this is the best the car's ever been, even though it looks horrible right now. See what I mean?
Oh, down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this radiator is too tall.
Yeah, and it always was. We knew it, and we were gonna fix it. And by fix, I mean get a shorter one in there and put a new valance in and shorten the grill. And we just didn't have the time. Bo's got the time, clearly, for you. So yeah, I mean, it's broke. We might as well make it better. So today we'll get a radiator that fits a little better. We'll put another valance on it that we got from Matt Nab. We'll shorten the grill and then drain the oil and change it. And hopefully it roars back to life and we go have fun with the car again.
The no inner fender thing in the air filter right there is...
Yeah, you know, the thing I thought was gonna burn us and the thing I totally fixed with cardboard and gaff tape was we had no upper cover for the pulley. I didn't want rocks to go in there and lock up the timing belt.
Oh.
So I made that real quick and that seemed to be fine. But this right here, even with pantyhose on it, didn't stop the water.
Damn.
It's weird. Totally weird. Didn't see that coming.
You know what you want to do? A fix for that. Like the mud trucks. Turn that running inside the cab.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was going to build inner fenders, but you're right. We could just make an air intake that goes in the cab of the car.
We'll kind of build a cool looking one and just go right there and have the filter be under the dash.
Solid.
Yeah.
All right. Problem solved. So let's pull the dipstick and then go from there.
Where's the dipstick?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I did. I forgot. We did put some new strut bars. Oh, and while we were driving it, I think it was the drag link broke. And we had to put a new one on the side of the road. Like the whole thing, the ball part of it, just like this. It just fell apart, dude. It was so wore out that within like 3 miles of driving it, when we left Chappelle's, all of a sudden it was just like shaking. It had death wobble like I've never experienced. So we fixed that during the trip. We put new strut bars in and, you know, we did stuff. But in the end, after driving General Mayhem, this thing is a pile compared to that car. Yeah. I like this motor way better and this trans way better, but the chassis and suspension of death metal is so basic and so functional and so well sorted, that car is way easier to drive. So at some point, we'll address the chassis and suspension of this, because although interesting looking, still deadly.
Very.
So let's flip this back and we'll find the, oh, engine oil. It's labeled because Japan.
Oh, is it over there?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Sweet, no milk, okay. So then I think what happened was this just ate a bunch of water, and when it was wet, it just didn't want to run. So let's do this. I'll air up the back tire, and then you see if you can make this run.
This is weird. I don't know what I'm looking at. There's a Holley fuel regulator. I do recognize that.
Why did this get so flat? That's what I want to know. I hope it even airs up, because like it's sitting on the rim.
I'm gonna assume it was much dirtier because there's like, looks like somebody took it to a car wash and just striped it with the pressure washer up here on the vinyl, because there's like white, black, white, black, white.
So at Dirtfish, they have an outside lift outside the shop and a pressure washer. And after you go bomb Dirtfish, like this car was brown. It had sweet mud graphics, the whole car in and out. Here we go. Cross your fingers. It's like, Bo just knew. He's like, that's gonna make noise, isn't it?
He's preparing himself.
Okay, ready, Bo? And now we wait.
Did the drip brake work?
Oh yeah.
Did it?
Oh yeah. It just needed to be broken in.
Okay.
And it had a lot of grip. Like it's way better in the dirt than it is on the pavement.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, man, this thing was gray. Like just mud. Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I hope that's sealed good.
That was the entire car looked like that, dude. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, inside and out, that's what this car looked like. That's an aluminum fuel cell, people.
Yeah.
Like, there we go. There we go.
We need to hose all this off before we even take these loose or anything.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt Nab, because this is gonna look amazing. See, we just cut the grill right here, get a proper radiator and put that in there. Front of the car is gonna look sick. So that's 18 pounds. I'll just stop at 20 and we'll take it home. Be good enough for now. Thank you, Milwaukee Tools. No, they didn't pay me to say that. This is just a genuinely awesome tool. It runs off the same batteries that the cordless tools in my garage run off of, which is super convenient. And you just set the pressure you want and it goes to it. I stopped that one early. I only put 20 PSI on the wheel because I'm impatient. And we'll top it off at the garage. But it'll be enough to get it home.
Oh. Oh, wow. I need to take a shower.
Yeah, when it's cold, it doesn't idle very well.
So we'll let it just sit here and run for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the ignition and starter. Everything else should be controlled. All right, fuel pump's running.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, right? Oh, battery's dead. Try it. All right. Keep it running.
It's spitting something all over the windshield. This thing sounds so weird. And I'll never be able to get used to it. It may run good, but man, I missed the sound of the 383 that was in here, for sure. I need one of these in the 57. Not the motor, the full handle. She's idling. She seems okay.
RPM is your friend. RPM is your friend. This car won't take off from a stoplight under $4 grand.
Wow. much as aggressive. Cool. All right. Well, you did all right. Other than get me dirty. Whoops. I watched death metal in the driveway. Finn's wife's gonna be pissed.
So here's the story, and sadly I don't have video to support this because it happened during a Roadkill episode, but we took this car to the Dirtfish Rally School, and we had the time of our lives roosting around the gravel rally course. So much fun. Steve Dulcich drove this car, Tony Angelo drove this car, David Freiberger drove this car, I drove this car, just like a complete idiot on the rev limiter everywhere I went, using the drift brake, like the whole 9 yards. And at some point, I had to make a 90-degree turn into a building, and I went wide into some grass to make the turn easier. But in that grass was a ditch I couldn't see, and tacoed the radiator through the ditch, and then when the back of the car went through the ditch, peeled the rear valance backwards on it. So the body is not as good as it used to be. But more importantly, our Ford Taurus radiator, which, by the way, shout out to my neighbor Robbie, who used to live with me, next to me. He recommended this for an engine swap because it flows a ridiculous amount of air. Like, it has a giant electric fan on it. But it's a very tall radiator. It always hung down too far on the car. Eventually, it was going to get smashed, and I finally smashed it. So this is going to come out today, and we're going to put in something else that hopefully fits better and doesn't require 1, 2, 3 couplers to mate it to our 2JZ engine, which has really small inlet and outlet hose diameters. So I'm gonna get the wires undone. You're gonna make a mess?
I'm gonna attempt to drain it somewhere. Hopefully there's a drain on this late model radiator.
I don't know. But, have fun. Anyway. Sorry.
It's all good. Just don't look under the car. It is trashed. Like, I feel sorry for the transmission. And there's a giant hole in the bottom of the transmission right there at the bell housing that I'm just sure this gobs of sand and water went in there to the clutch.
Oh, wow. Huh. Why is that there?
I don't know.
That's weird. Okay.
Is there a petcock on your side over there? There is. I see it. Yeah.
Oh, the good news is there's no water left in it. Because it all came out. I forgot about that. That's why it overheated.
Oh, well, great.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. That was the reason the shoot ended for this car was I broke the radiator, all the water came out, and the end.
Oh, well.
So,
good.
Yeah, we're good. This is a lot easier.
All right. Much cleaner.
Just pat myself on the back for that. That was forward thinking. I knew it needed to be replaced, so might as well get all the water out of it ahead of time.
I like how you tapped the water pipe here for the mount.
Ah, dude. Nothing but the best for death mount.
When it's 1/4 inch thick, I mean, you can do that.
Yeah, when your roll cage is made out of water pipe, you can tap it pretty easily. Where do you see these radiator hoses? Because Not only are there a lot of adapters, most of those adapters are made up of hose wrapped over hose.
Nice.
So I have a friend named Mark who's worked in the automotive aftermarket for a couple of decades now. He saw our last video and was like, "Did you know I work at Superwinch?" I was like, "No." Info would have been great before I went out and bought a Harbor Freight winch. But I tell him, I'm like, so in the future when they break again, I'll just call you. Because you know the Harbor Freight winch is probably going to break again. But only because I didn't buy the extended warranty.
Right. I see where you lost all your fluid.
Ooh, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's right here. It's pretty amazing.
What was this for? A Nissan Altima or something?
I forget what it was for. Something along those lines.
Dude, this is
That joker is a half-inch thick.
Hey, but it's almost as tall as the other one.
No, we measured, and we were going to be like, oh man, this is so much smaller, it's going to work great.
This doesn't seem smaller.
And look how thin it is.
So there's the bottom of our old radiator.
This one's down here, dude. The top of this one, the one that's in there is right here.
Oh, all right, maybe we're all right then. I'll reserve judgment until we get it out.
That's the same size as what's in there.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That's weird.
We measured.
We did. The Summit website lie. Let's get it out and find.
Yeah.
Clearly, this isn't our fault.
No.
Professionals. All right. Don't worry, you can't break it any more broke than it already is. My plan here is not only fix the radiator, but also fix the cosmetics. We're gonna cut the grill flush with the bottom of the bumper, and then we're gonna put a new valance back in there. Well, new to us, it's old valance, but we're gonna make the valance fit, because hopefully we're not gonna have a radiator hanging down. You know that Dave's charger is the same color as this charger originally? They both have that same color red firewall.
Who?
General Mayhem.
Oh yeah.
Same color.
Same year, same color.
Mm-hmm. Meant to be.
Oh my God, this is all welded.
What
It's
is?
welded all the way across.
What is?
The thing, all the.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess we're.
Here, I got this part though.
Yeah, that'll be enough to get it out. And then we'll cut that out. Whoops.
Whoa!
Worked really good.
Look how bent it is. But it broke here. That's where all your fluid came out. It's all busted off.
Plastic. Well, before that happened, that was one hell of a fan.
Damn.
That was one hell of a fan until it broke.
Good radiator too. This car never ever ran hot. That's like the only vehicle in our fleet that's never ran hot
That's true.
until now.
They tend to run a little warm when there's no water in the cooling system. I'm really proud of this. This is still holding on. I need to find that cover. All right, so wait a minute. Am I crazy or is this the same? Yeah.
It's the same height.
It's the same height. Wait a minute. I don't understand. Why did we buy this?
Look, it's the same height, but it's 1.5 inches narrower, which is gonna suck.
So does this hang down just like the other one did? Well, yeah.
What did you do? What did you order?
I ordered the thing you told me to order.
Oh crap! No, I was drunk that day. Oh man.
Well, if these bars were gone,
the front end's gonna fall off.
if these bars were on a different angle, how about that aluminum radiator back there? What's that look like?
It's just as tall. It's the same height.
So we need the Scirocco radiator.
I have one at my house that's shorter. It's probably overall height. See the aluminum part of that? It's probably that height.
Then grab tools and cut off the grill and the valance at the bumper. And we can at least get that fitted on.
Yeah.
I and then deal with the radiator tomorrow.
This is water pipe. We could run it. We could just route it through the cage to the trunk. Shoot, I'm lined right up.
Oh, yeah. Dude. That's nice. Like that.
We're totally hooking these up.
Oh, yeah. All the lights.
Dude.
This is so much better. Got any bolts?
Yeah, let me get some.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some matching hardware. You just wait.
All right.
So you got, there's 3 washers on the bolt, and then you got flat washers, and then lock washers, and then nuts.
Boom. Dude, let me see. Yeah, so much progress. Look how good it looks. This looks way better. It needs the bumper, yeah, but we've never had the outer lights going. We've never had a balance, or at least not a complete one. This looks killer. It needs the bumper, but right now we're gonna drain the oil out of the 2J because it's probably contaminated from all the water and mud that this motor inhaled at Dirtfish. So that's the next thing. We need to drain the oil out, go online, try to find an upper timing cover so we can get rid of the cardboard, put the bumper back on, radiator in, fans, and then road test.
Wish we had turn signals. I'd wire up the marker lights on the bottom, but for right now, we'll just make them running lights.
We need one of those Motion Raceworks turn signal switches. The one on the C10 is not even wired up. We could just rob that one and put it on here for now.
Perfect. What weight oil do you put in this thing?
I don't remember.
I'm sure it's like 530, right, or something weird.
Yeah, this is more like 0. It's pretty. It moves too quickly. It's still got oil there. That's good. And it is, it's not black. It's brownish.
I've seen much worse.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like it's not Opal Funny Car kind of milkshake.
Jeez, yeah.
Which you guys won't know what that means because the episode of Faster Finnegan's not out, but we made milkshakes that day. That's not too bad. I'm not even going to cut it open and look for metal because I don't want to know the answer to that.
You're fine.
The truth is, that's a $500 long block. Other than the turbo and the Motec, there's nothing really of value there. Oh, and those Brian Crowder cams are pretty sweet too. But the long block itself, not very nice.
I mean, if you had metal in it, it's not like we're going to do anything about it. We're just going to keep driving.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work to take that out of the car. And then what? Rip it apart? No, you just go get another $500 long block. Not worth rebuilding. I mean, it is worth rebuilding if it's not catastrophic, but when you can get another $500 long block, you don't bother rebuilding the $500 long block you have. You set it aside for much later. When you run out of $500 long blocks, then you take it apart.
All right, so what is the difference between this one and like a turbo motor?
So I'm not an expert on this at all, but here's what I can remember from the research I did and talking to Jay Marr at Real Street Performance. This is a 2JZ inline 6 GE motor. The GE is non-turbo from the factory, and there were 2 variants of that. There was GE with variable valve timing, GE without it, and then there's GTE, which is the turbo motor. If you can afford it, the turbo motor is the one that you want because it has better connecting rods, better pistons, the compression ratio is lower. It's made for boost. Problem is, if you try to buy one of those right now, the prices have gone through the roof. A motor that used to be like $2,500 a few years ago is now $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. They're a lot. However, the GE is cheap. I paid $500 for that long block, and that's because it came in more cars. Like you could have got this in like a Lexus SC400.
Yeah, because didn't this come out of a Lexus right here?
Yeah, that came out of a Lexus. And so this motor, not built for boost, you want to be careful with it because the connecting rod is the weak link of this motor. But you can safely boost this to like 12, 13 pounds of boost and make 450 at the tires, and it'll live all day long. All we did to this motor was we put some Brian Crowder cams in it, some valve springs. We put the turbo head gasket in it, which is a little thicker, and it drops the compression ratio a little bit. And then we added a precision turbo and a Motec to control it. The Motec, I think, is the key to the fun in this motor, in this car, because this is not a light car. This is not a motor that makes big torque down low, A, because it's small, and B, because it has a turbo. But with the variable valve timing being controlled by the Motec, we get a good amount of mid-range and low torque out of this. And so the long block is cheap, the EFI is expensive, but I think if you have a heavy car and you're used to V8 torque, you want the more expensive EFI to control the variable valve timing so that you can have the torque. And it takes getting used to, like coming from a V8 and then driving this, like you have to get used to when you take off from a stoplight, RPM is your friend. Like it's gonna sound like you're that jerk next door just revving his motor for no reason, but you need 4,000 RPM to get this thing moving. You know, otherwise it just kind of, bucks and stalls and, you look like an idiot. And once you get used to the fact that this thing is totally happy being on a rev limiter, dude, fireballs are your friend. Like when I went around Dirtfish, I just kept putting my foot to the floor and just bouncing it off the rev limiter. And eventually, coming from the V8 world, I don't want to hear a V8 on a rev limiter. It just sounds like it's going to be bad news. I did that all day in this car and it did not break. Like eventually you go, oh, all right, that's kind of fun, So that's why I swapped the 2J. Like if you guys at home, if you're wondering why did I put a 2J in a 68 Charger, I'll tell you why. The 383 was heavy, it didn't make great power, and it was unhappy from the get-go when I bought it. And so it needed to come apart. This was cheaper, it weighs about 100 pounds less, and it makes about 200 horsepower more than that 383 that was in here. And so now I have a car that doesn't look like every other Charger out there, it doesn't sound like every other Charger, and it's really fun to drive.
How big's the turbo?
I don't remember. 70 something, I'm guessing. 76, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the Roadkill episode.
And this made how much at the tire?
We made like 520 at the tire, and then we turned it down. And so it's making like 450 or 60 right now at the tire. So it's a 600-ish horsepower motor right now with bolt-ons, which is sweet. And if we put a set of connecting rods in this long block, we could turn it up to like 800 or 900 and it would be happy. So maybe one day, maybe that's next. Or maybe we fix the suspension and the steering so it's, less deadly.
Let's do that first because I know the trans will probably take it. The rear axle will definitely take it. So yeah. So once we get the suspension lined out, let's turn it up.
Yeah. Because it's a handful right now. Like it doesn't need 800 horsepower. It's better steering. Home stretch. We have changed the oil. We've removed the old radiator, which is way broken, put on the new valance, cut the grill in half, remounted the front bumper so it actually fits right. We are waiting for our new radiator to arrive, so in the meantime, a little more maintenance. This is the old K&N reusable air filter that was on it. It's filthy, even with sunglasses on, I can tell this needs cleaning, so we're gonna clean it. And then long term, I think we need to mount this inside the car, like make a 180 out of the turbo and go right back through the firewall, like one of those mud trucks David always falls in love with and talks about constantly, like we should have one, even though we don't have one, probably not gonna have one. But still cool. I'll start cleaning. We're out of there.
I got you. We will have one day. It's coming.
Oh, there we go, there's some stuff right there. Right here. You wanna make sure you got your protective eyewear on. You want to move in a conical pattern. That's been scientifically proven by no one to be very effective at blowing out an air filter from the inside out. Trust me on this, I haven't done the research at all. Which means I know what I'm talking about because this is YouTube. Everybody on YouTube's an expert. I'm sure the folks at K&N would love us to oil this when we're done.
Do you have the oil?
Nah.
All right. So, not happening.
Nor do I have any more pantyhose. Oddly enough, how did Tony Angelo have pantyhose to cover this up? Is that weird?
Yeah.
We'll let the internet decide, Tony. New Burn has been fashioning a new air intake that's going to take the inlet of the turbo and move it inside the cab of the Charger, which is going to be great because although that is pretty well ventilated, it's way better in the cab than it is the engine compartment. Inside the engine compartment, when you go off-roading, that poor 2J is just inhaling everything. Dirt, mud, all of it. So we're gonna TIG weld some aluminum mandrel bends here today. This is 4-inch diameter. It's about 80 thousandths thick. Of course, that could be a part where I'm just measuring where it got cut. Yeah, it's about 80 thousandths thick. New tools and people that I want to shout out. This is a metal gauge from Genuine Metal Works. My buddy Eric makes these. He also makes these cool squares that you can use. I don't have one in front of me, but for building things that you want to clamp down to your table and make sure you've got right angles going. You know, like when we built our welding table, it would have been really cool to have his squares. And so I got some of those. He sent me this as well. I got a tungsten sharpener finally. If you guys have been here since the beginning of this channel, you remember I had a $20 grinder bolted to the wall that I got from Harbor Freight. That thing finally wore out and died, and they don't make them anymore. So I broke down and I bought this. I bought it for a couple of reasons. I was tired of getting up from the welding table to go somewhere to clean and sharpen my tungsten after I dipped it into the puddle. And since I'm a mediocre welder, that happens fairly often. And this is portable. It sits here at the table. It has several features. It's got a billet head on here. The top of it you can use to knock the end of the tungsten off. And then the side of it, you put it in here and you turn it, and it's got a diamond wheel in there that spins off this motor, and it will sharpen the tungsten. It's fully adjustable. I got it from CK Worldwide. I think I paid somewhere around, I want to say 299 bucks, something like that, with a battery, a charger, the tool, and the head for it. And it works really great. I've had it for a couple months, and I'm stoked on it. It hasn't worn out yet. And it's the same brand of tool we have throughout the shop, so this battery works for everything else. So, let's see. We're going to be welding with the Miller Dynasty 280DX, AC mode, obviously, because this is aluminum. Like I said, this is about 80 thousandths thick, so I'm going to put it right at about 80 amps, and we'll get this tacked together and mock it up on the car, make sure it's good, and then we'll burn it in finally. After I fix the tungsten from the last time I dipped it. Watch this. So just sit that right there. It's got holes for various size tungstens. This is 3/32. So I just knocked the end of it off there. I don't know if you can see it with an iPhone, but it's pretty blunt. And I'm welding aluminum, and there's two ways to prep the tungsten there. You can either ball the end of it, or you can put a fairly blunt tip on it. I used to ball it all the time, and then someone turned me on to not balling it and just putting a blunt tip on it, and that seems to work pretty good. I think when you're learning to weld, some of that stuff matters more than others. Like eventually, so here's the tip I just ground off. This is what it's gonna look like after you start welding in aluminum. It's gonna ball it irregardless. So like I said, I've just been sharpening it and then welding, and it balls automatically. So there's that. But if you did want to sharpen this more, you know, say you're welding stainless or something, and or mild steel, and you wanted a sharper tip, you would just put it in there, turn it with your hands, and it comes out sharper. And you want it a little more, push on it some more. Cool, huh? So I usually, before I weld anything, I'll prep 2 or 3 of these if I'm gonna be welding for a few hours, because I know I'm gonna dunk this in the puddle at some point or run into the workpiece. And so this makes it quick and easy. Is it cheap? No. But it is effective, and it does save a lot of time. No more getting up from the table in the middle of a weld joint to, fix your tungsten.
And we also learned that the wire care zip tie holder is absolutely perfect for holding scrap pieces of filler rod there.
Oh yeah. We had more than one of these, and so one of them on the other side of the shop is full of zip ties of various size. This is full of leftover and scrap pieces of filler rod. So this corner of the shop is getting good. And I'm getting better as a result, you know. I'm not professional by any means. And, let's be clear, I never went to school for welding. Everything I know I learned from friends and from YouTube. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I'm getting better. I almost forgot, you can also cut the tungsten off with this thing. You just lay it in here on its side, up against the edge of the wheel. See that groove we're putting in there? you can groove it and then you can break it off. Let me put my gloves on because it's getting warm. So we'll get over here. Okay. Like if you've really screwed up your tungsten, you can groove it, break it off. Because a lot of times, especially when you're welding aluminum, if you run this into the workpiece and it blows up, it's gonna throw stuff further up the shaft of the tungsten than you can grind off. So you break it off there and then grind it and then go sharpen it and you're ready to go again. Tungsten's really freaking hard. I used to have all these other ways of shortening it and breaking it off. You know, I'd hold it over the edge of a table and smack the end of it with a hammer, and a lot of times I'd end up bending the tungsten as opposed to breaking it off clean. So this is killer. You know, I now have tungsten that's clean and doesn't have stuff stuck to the side of it from when last time I dipped it. Update for you guys. We're still waiting on a radiator. That hasn't arrived, mostly because I screwed up and ordered a fan and a shroud and not a radiator, which did arrive. So in the meantime, we are finishing up our air inlet tube, which is looking good. Newbern is about to punch a 4-inch hole through the firewall right there with that 4-inch hole saw right there. And then that will allow the charge tube to bend down here. And then our K&N air filter will be inside the passenger compartment, which it will get dirty. I mean, there's holes everywhere in here, but the holes in here are much smaller than all the holes up here. So it's gonna be better. What would Cousin Eddie do in a time like this? Yep, put a hole in the firewall of a 1968 Dodge Charger. That's what he would do. Oh boy. And then he'd check to make sure that the pooper is not full. It's impressive that you got that in there.
Yeah. You see how I did that, right?
I won't remember, but I got video evidence if I ever need to take it apart. Nice. Perfect.
Big hole.
We are getting close. To recap, this is our old radiator. This is for a Ford Taurus. It has a monster fan, and it was great. It cooled really well, right up until the part where the bottom part of it that hung under the bumper, I smashed into the ground, bending it in half and breaking this plastic radiator. So clearly too big for what we needed. So we went all the way to the other side of the spectrum there. We went from a radiator that was way too big to a radiator that is arguably too small, however, fits in our Charger. This is made by Griffin. You can also get this from other suppliers like AFCO. Basically, it's a VW Scirocco style radiator. Real close to the dimensions of a Volkswagen Scirocco radiator, but all aluminum with a fan. This is really made for drag racing. Is it enough to cool the 2JZ? I don't know, but we're gonna find out because this is what we could find and overnight from summitracing.com because tomorrow we're going to go test the car and there was literally nothing else at our local parts stores or on Summit that would fit in here and that we could also get today. So we're gonna custom mount this bad boy in the car. We're going to wire up a clutch switch. Dave's gonna stop coughing and then we're gonna shoot fireballs and go drive this. Are you got no Rona?
Good.
I could see the COVID coming right past the camera.
I'm back at the camera.
So we're gonna, when Dave stops being allergic to radiator installation, we're gonna put this in, we're gonna wire up a clutch switch, and then we're gonna go test drive the car again. Now, is it gonna handle better? No, it's not. It's literally the same stuff we had in the car before, but it should stop overheating, and look how much better it looks. And a better looking front end, sheet metal wise, has to mean better performance wise for, you know, the front suspension, right? That's what I'm telling myself. Either way, we're just gonna shoot 2JZ fireballs and have fun. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Let's just roll with that whole thing. Just
whatever.
Give the people what they want. They want to hear Dave's.
Perfect.
They want to hear the exact moment that Dave brought the Rona into Finnegan's garage. That was it right there.
Got it.
I've made it through 2 years without getting it yet. It's all over now.
It's amazing.
It's all over now.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You know what I like about this radiator? It's welded together by people who are no better than me. Look, that's where he ran his tungsten into the workpiece. And look over here. That's where they ran the tungsten into the workpiece. That's the giveaway, folks. When you see black soot right there, that's where you're TIG welding and you've run your tungsten into the workpiece, or you've run the filler rod into the tungsten. It looks like that.
We at least clean it after you do that. So
Yeah, I mean, I try to hide that.
Yeah.
These people, whoever made this Griffin radiator, were like, whatever, nobody cares. It looks okay though. I mean, it looks like I welded it. I don't think it's gonna leak, and should be fine. You know, I'm gonna leave that there. People think I built it. We just church this up a little bit. Jay from Real Street Performance, who tuned this motor and installed the camshafts, hasn't seen the car since we put the motor in, and believe it or not, it looked a lot better back then. She's a little filthy now, so before he sees it, I'm just gonna church it up a little bit. And great thing about stainless steel is you just hit it with Scotch-Brite, it's like brand new again. The steel tractor flappers and the steel gusset that got put there, I can't do anything about that. But this right here, I can at least make look slightly better until we encounter more mud. I want to keep him happy so that he'll put the burble tune in it for when we want to shoot fireballs.
You gonna polish the intake as well?
Yeah, I might church that up a little bit. Boy, my mother may want to go for a ride in this car. You never know.
So people always ask, I always see comments about this tube right here, and like people don't understand it. They think it's fake, but this is actually
That's the puke tank for the whole
it's the
car.
puke tank for the engine right there.
Yeah.
So
It's cool. So this thing's cool, right? This is the door bar out of Blasphemy. A door bar that was 20 thousandths too thin in terms of wall thickness, so it was illegal. So we took it out of the car, leaned it up against the wall, and I don't know at what point I did it, but I just decided that door bar would make a great puke tank. So we welded some tubing on it so we could clamp the filters to it, welded in a bung there on each side for our dash 10, and when we had a V8, we had two hoses going to it. And then if you look real close,
there's a drain right there.
There's a drain right there. So you unbolt one side of it, swing it up, and then drain it, and then put it back down. There. That's the strut bar puke tank. By Finnegan Speed and Marine. That's also the cardboard upper timing cover by Finnegan Speed and Marine.
Oh, I got some beauties of it. You need a gray marker.
It's holding up good.
I'm petting that.
It's holding up good.
It looks good.
I'll church up the intake, and then we can put the hood on, fire it up, and back it outside.
What are you gonna use? No, you're gonna use that?
Well, yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, well, it was polished.
I would just use maybe some Windex and some paper towels. You're about to.
I was about to make it match that one.
Yeah, you were.
Because that looks great. The brushed look, I'm into it.
Oh, I do like that.
You know,
That does look good.
but all right, for now, I'll Windex it. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like brand new.
It looks like a mirror.
I thought you washed this thing.
I thought I did too. It looked great for
When it was wet.
when it was wet. And
It's funny because like the people that worked on this car have pretty high standards. You know, this engine swap happened at the hands of Kevin Smith from KSR. I wouldn't say he's a perfectionist, but he's got high standards. Jay Marr from Real Street Performance, real high standards. And then there was me and Tony Angelo, who put it all in there and then went, all right, see you guys, we're going to Dirtfish. And we just bombed through mud with it, and it's, you know, trashed. The only clean, shiny parts are the brand new ones we just put in there, like the radiator. And that's really the key to being happy, folks, is stop caring about the appearance of your automobile. And if you want to feel better about yourself and your car, just buy some new shiny parts and bolt them right next to the rusty, crappy ones that are already there. Like that radiator, which is next to and surrounded by a lot of rust. Look at this.
Oh boy.
Like I'm cleaning this knowing we're going off-roading tomorrow and it's just gonna get hammered.
I do the same thing with my side-by-side. Like I power wash it and clean it up real good before I get there. And then within 5 seconds, it's destroyed.
See, I never do this. I'm only doing this because we're gonna see Jay Marr tomorrow. And the guys, you know, got standards.
I did clean the bumper.
That looks great. It does. See, that's the difference. Like, if your car is filthy, don't wash the entire car. Just clean the wheels and tires.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's like, you clean the wheels and tires and the windows of any automobile, it looks like you detailed the whole thing, for the most part, from 20 feet away. There's your tip of the week.
You gonna do the headlights?
I'm gonna do the windshield too.
That's the inside. I already did the outside.
I'm not doing that. Every car is climbing back in that car. And this is the worst car ever to climb into.
You notice that's as far as I could reach, is this clean spot right here.
Now that they all light up, we might as well make them clean so they work, right? Oh my god, dude, there's so much mud on these lights. We're here.
Oh boy. I dare you to like spray wax that quick detail the whole car. I'll armor all the top.
The top's final.
I know. Did we hit this with some armor all? Now I gotta know.
You gotta know what? You're gonna armor all the roof of the car?
Yeah.
I'll watch.
Well, you know, like a lot of off-roaders, they'll spray armor all on the bottom of their trucks and stuff, and it keeps the mud from sticking.
I thought that just attracted the dirt and made it stick.
I mean, I could be backwards, but
Maybe that's WD-40. I don't know. Armor? Yeah. I dare you to clean the roof.
I'll do it. Here's no daring to it. I'm doing it.
There she is. New cooling system, new air inlet pipe, new radiator hoses.
Dude, it's legit now. Like new valence on the front, like the bumper's remounted, the grill's been cut, like we redid all this, we've hooked up the extra headlights.
And now it's gonna have a harder time swallowing mud and whatever else we encounter tomorrow when we go to Iron Mountain Off-Road Park.
Yep.
A place we've never been to, and that, as far as I know right now, has a motocross track and I don't know what else. I just hope there's some dirt roads and trails we can blast around on.
We're bringing all the goodies. We're bringing the side-by-side, we're bringing this, we might bring a motorcycle. We're bringing friends.
We're bringing somebody that can tune this thing if it needs it.
Yep.
I don't think it's gonna need it, but we now have a functioning clutch switch, which we haven't had yet on this car, which means once Jay puts the right tune in there with the clutch switch, yeah. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Fireballs. Hook up the sway bar, we'll put the hood on and go for a test drive. Start. All right, here's a fuel pump. We got 13 volts, 55 pounds fuel pressure. It's alive.
It sounds cool.
Oh, dude. I love this car. I loved it when I bought it. I fell out of love with it when the 383 started to suck. Then we put a 2JZ in it. I love it again. Doesn't want to idle. Oh. That tune needs some work when it's cold. Wifey's gonna be so excited about all the smoke. Alright, we gotta think I can get out on the left, or?
Oh yeah, you got room.
I forgot how much the heat distorts the view through the windshield.
I'd laugh if you just plowed down every snowman.
That would be awesome. Oh, I love this
I can hear the air filter. I'm like, what's that noise? I can hear it sucking right there.
Oh yeah, so the downside of the exhaust being right there is you're gonna inhale it.
Yeah.
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 When Tony and I took the road trip for the Roadkill shoot, we ended up putting dryer ducting on that and putting it on top of the roof.
Oh my, I can see why.
Yeah.
That's bad already in the first 30 seconds.
We'll just go to the gas station. Yeah, as cool as that is, we might have to change that at some point.
Okay.
Which is a shame because, well, there's a hole in the hood.
It's surprisingly rides good.
Yeah, dude, the ride is really good. The steering sucks; it won't return to center, and the handling is not great. It understeers real bad. But on the dirt, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know. So that was like half throttle, and it spun the tires, dude.
Whoa. Okay, that was pretty cool. Holy crap! I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, once the boost hits, just hold on. No engine likes the rev limiter, but for whatever reason, this engine doesn't care when you put it on the rev limiter. It's just like, yeah, whatever. What else we got? Let's get gas.
It's so crazy. It's so weird. Oh god. Hello. Let's climb out our window.
Gas.
Oh gosh.
Why are we leaking gas?
That's weird. Oh god, it's leaking right there. Oh, that's probably what I was seeing in the driveway.
Doesn't look like it's coming from the fittings. It almost looks like it's coming from the base gasket, maybe? Right next to the battery, that's fun. Huh.
Oh wait, hold on. It's right there.
Where?
Is this cracked?
It's what cracked? I saw a bubble.
Yeah, look. Back the light up a little bit. Yeah, right there.
Here's what we can do though. So this is a surge tank. There's a little tiny pump right there taking the fuel cell and pumping it into this. We just unbolt this and put it in here. Know what I'm saying? Bypass the surge tank completely. Just make sure this is full.
Okay.
Because we don't have time to drain this, fill it with water, get all the fumes out, and weld it tonight.
No. Yeah, how full is that thing?
Well,
I mean,
it should always both be full.
But it overflows right here, right?
Right, and where does that go?
Oh no, that's the inlet.
That's the inlet. Where's the overflow go?
Right here. It comes. Oh.
Oh yeah, overflows to here and goes there, except this is leaking.
So it's gonna fill up all of this, like, and then come out this. Wouldn't it be better to have it in there and come out there? So it's not
Yeah.
like having to fill up all of everything above that?
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. This is full. I like the idea behind having the surge tank. The thing about it is it's just one more thing to go wrong. You know. Oh yeah, look. No, it's coming out of here.
Yeah.
I think this thing might be loose. Oh, the gasket's gone. Look.
What?
Oh, I see what it is.
Yep.
He trimmed the gasket around this thing because this was in the way, and that's what's leaking.
I bet we just need to, let's snug it real good. And like I said, if we just swap, well, either way, either we can just put this over there and just get rid of that altogether, or.
All right. As long as it doesn't blow up on the way home, you know, awesome. We can fix it. I mean, just because it's mounted directly next to the battery doesn't mean we're in trouble.
At least you can see pretty good.
Yeah, these are way better than they were before. Oh yeah, this works way good now.
Oh Lord.
Steering radius is not as good as it could have been. Sorry.
You have to wear a mask when you're riding. Oh.
Look, it's done! And we've gone outside of the garage. We are here at Iron Mountain Off-Road Park in Dahlonega?
Dahlonega.
Dahlonega, is that how you say it? Dahlonega, Georgia.
Dahlonega, Georgia.
I'm new to Georgia. I'm still learning this stuff. And in the next episode of Finnegan's Garage, you're going to see us rip this thing around this park. In the meantime, just enjoy the sights and the views of 2JZ powered charger held together by baling wire and duct tape.